I'm EJ Stewart. All this and a panel discussion on athlete conduct and its impact on youth sports later in the program.
Hey guys, I'm EJ and this is Kendall here, and we're going to be discussing the top NBA draft prospects at the small forward position. Hey guys, I'm EJ and this is Kendall, and today we're going to give you guys the next superheroes that we think should have their own superhero movie.
We begin with the changing face of healthcare. Obamacare, the Affordable Care Act, is bringing huge changes throughout the nation, but there are many other changes as well. Instead of a trip to the emergency room, an increasing number of New Yorkers are seeking healthcare right around the corner. Bianca Flowers has more. Violent behavior by professional athletes is nothing new. But recent incidents, however, starting with the video of Ray Rice knocking out his fiancée, has pushed public outrage to a new level. Here in New York City, one high school coach is trying to use this incident as a teaching moment for his students. Karina Valentin reports. Thanks, Karina. Here to talk more about athlete misconduct is Beth Silverman-Yam and BJ Schechter from Sports Illustrated. Guys, thank you so much for coming in. Beth, there's often a hyper-masculinity around male sports, and sometimes coaches may find it difficult to talk about these important issues like domestic violence to their players. How do you suggest they start that conversation?
Well, I think the recent incidents have created a very teachable moment, but I think to borrow a metaphor from football itself or sports, perhaps we can change the playbook.
This Ray Rice incident has really put a spotlight on how athletes conduct themselves off the court or off the field. Do you feel like coaches, not only on the professional level, but on the college and high school level, are going to take this opportunity to be more involved with these players' lives off the court?
For number one, for me, I have Jason Tatum from Duke. Tatum, there's a lot to like with this guy. As you said, his offensive game is super advanced. He can score in the mid-range. He can hit from three. He can get to the rim, though that's one of my concerns with him is his ability to finish through contact. I think sometimes he can get bodied up and kind of throwing up some lazy shots at times. But his offensive ability, as you said, is extremely advanced. In some ways, it reminds me very much of a Duke forward that just came out not that long ago in Jabari Parker. I think a Plastic Man movie would be really great. You know, and to me, I look at the success that a movie like Ant-Man had in being a comedy heist film. And to me, Plastic Man fits right in that mold. This is a guy who's a former criminal, someone who's really funny. I mean, he's a wisecracker. I mean, he's one of probably the early superheroes who were like that, who was just constantly wisecracking, making jokes. There weren't superheroes that came out weren't really doing that. He might have been one of the first ones. He's kind of a pioneer in that regard. And with the advancement we have in technology and the things you can do with CGI, the crazy things you can do
really fun movie
with someone like Plastic Man would be amazing. So between the comedy, between the CGI, between doing that kind of like cool heist thing, that would be awesome. And we talk about, DC sometimes being too gritty. What better way to kind of lighten their outlook?
When Madison Square Garden announced they would be putting their 23-year run as a host of the city's public high school basketball championships on hiatus, many basketball fans around the city were worried about the future whereabouts of the game. Cardozo High School's legendary basketball coach Ron Niclario said he was concerned a smaller venue would cheapen the status of the event.
I was disappointed because the PSL, the biggest athletic high school organization in the world, with the most student athletes, at such a high level, having it at Madison Square Garden, not to have it there and have to go somewhere else was really, really devastating.
However, after nearly a month of speculation, the Barclays Center stepped up to the plate and announced they had reached an agreement to host this year's championship for the very first time, leaving many relieved that the city's high school players would not be shut out of playing at an NBA arena. This year's championship game will be a battle of Queens versus Brooklyn. In the girls' game, Queens' Francis Lewis High School took on Brooklyn's South Shore, and in the boys' game, Queens' Cardozo High School took on Thomas Jefferson. In the first game, Francis Lewis would ride the backs of Kyla Bailey and Sierra Green to overcome an early deficit to beat South Shore, winning the school's first city championship since 1979. Green's team-leading 21 points earned her finals MVP.
It's a great experience. It's still shocking. It didn't hit me yet. This is all new. Just happy we made it here. Everybody underestimated us, like she just said, and we just proved them wrong.
Oh, it was terrific. It was terrific. I was worried about our girls in terms of nerves because it's our first time over here. And then I was worried about my nerves. But I think more than anything, I think we were just pumped. We were just pumped to be here, pumped to be able to play on such a fantastic court, and just to be around so many people and everything. It was really special. And I think being here made it even more special.
The boys' game would provide one of the most nail-biting finishes in championship history. In front of a raucous crowd, the boys' final was a physical battle with multiple lead changes down the stretch. Cardozo would need 21 points from Francisco Williams and 2 late free throws from sophomore point guard Ray Salin with just 2 seconds left to clinch the title.
I was nervous too, but I've been in those situations before, but it's just that the situations that were before weren't as big as this one. It felt like a dream on the free throw line. I felt like I was playing 2K, honestly. Thought I was going to miss it.
He was focused. I didn't have the heart to look at the foul shots. I'm walking up and down, and I turned, and I actually closed my eyes. When I heard the cheer from the bench and the Cardozo fans, I knew the score was tied.
After the game, Niclario was overcome with emotion as he embraced his players. After waiting a long 15 years to win another title, Niclario admitted that he wasn't sure if his team could pull it off and was still in disbelief that they won.
Incredible. It is the most incredible thing. It's like I'm basically on cloud 9 now, and I know it's going to hit me that we really did win the city championship. I mean, right now, am I dreaming it? Is it late at night? Did I have too much to drink? The whole bit? But we did it.
This year's PSAL basketball championships here at the Barclays created a whole new excitement unlike any other year. At the Barclays Center, I'm EJ Stewart.
Continues to tee up. Combinations, uppercuts. John look at the head spin, and down goes.
Imagine stepping into a steel cage against another human being who's only got 3 things in mind: knock you out cold, choke you out, or make you submit. But this man says being in an octagon is when he's most at peace.
Like I said, it's my zen. Good day, shitty day, whatever. I come here, I get on a mat. It's, everything stops, time stops. I am where I want to be.
This is Tony Popola, a proud native New Yorker with dreams of someday making it as a professional mixed martial artist. Mixed martial arts, or MMA, is one of the fastest growing sports in the United States. It's a combat sport that combines the techniques of grappling and striking in 3 to 5 round fights. After winning his first 2 MMA fights, Popola is looking for more.
I want to keep going. I want to win belts. I want to be the best I can be. I got big dreams like everybody that's hungry has. And, I'm not going to let anything stop me. I'm just going to keep going until I'm dead.
While there are lots of gyms where Tony can work out and even fight as an amateur, professional MMA competitions have been outlawed in New York State for the past 17 years. Former Governor George Pataki called the sport barbaric and condemned its no-holds-barred regulations. In 1996, U.S. Senator John McCain said the sport was nothing more than human cockfighting. Mixed martial arts has become one of the most popular professional sports in the country. But the New York ban makes it hard for New York fighters like Popola to get a fight near home and hard for fans to get an up-close taste of the action.
The traveling sucks out of New York. You can pay for gas, and the toll roads in Jersey if you go to Atlantic City, and you're talking about an hours and way drive.
Proponents for overturning the New York State ban say that stricter regulations have made MMA safer and more socially acceptable. 47 states have legalized MMA, but state lawmakers continue to cite safety concerns as a reason for upholding the ban. However, Popola is still skeptical. He makes his living as an auto mechanic and says his job is more dangerous than taking blows in an octagon.
I got more injuries jackhammering and digging and, working out in the field than I ever did any fight, any grappling competition.
Staunch MMA opponent and state senator Liz Kruger maintained at a recent Senate debate that she is concerned for the kids.
Children watch violence every day on TV. They can see the violence. They are already replicating the violence by performing attempts at mixed martial art. I just don't believe that this state, at this time, should legalize this sport, which by definition gives a good housekeeping seal of approval.
Oh, big uppercut! He's down!
Kruger says significant changes would have to be made before she ever signed on to a bill that would legalize mixed martial arts in New York State.
Where medical research is showing that fighters in the sport stand an incredibly high chance of suffering brain damage. I believe as government we have an obligation to try to protect people from harm.
Politics aside, Popola says he just hopes lawmakers keep an open mind before condemning mixed martial arts.
I think, like anything else, ignorance fucks everything up. People shouldn't speak upon things with secondary knowledge. They should really look into things themselves and figure out what things are really about.
In New York, I'm EJ Stewart.